All right. Now let us look at how to trade the vegetation cycle. First of all, you need to start with blockers. You need to start with blockers. What do I call blockers? Blockers are blockers, right? So to trade the vegetation cycle, right, you need to have three elements. First of all, the blockers. Secondly, the orientator, the orientation. It's also the direction, but it is a little bit different than the direction orientation. The orientation for your trade is like a board that give you that tell you to go left or right. It's not a one line direction. And then lastly, you need the execution. The execution. The most important between the three, right, will be the blockers. And the reason why the blockers, the blockers is the most important, like the most important is the blocker because the blocker give you directly all of the rest. Like when you find a blocker, the blocker will give you all the orientation and the execution. If you read this way, if you read this way, you know, in basketball, right? If you have a basketball court like this, a basketball court, you have a basketball court like this, and then you have a bucket here. Those are the two buckets. Then in the middle here, you have Stephen Curry, a basketball player with the ball. If Stephen Curry hit the ball on the court floor, like the ball goes down and arrive on the floor, the ball pass through the floor, then this basketball game will not be playable. This basketball game will not be playable because the floor is not holding, is not making the ball bounce back. The floor is supposed to be a a bouncing back element, a bouncing back yes, a bouncing back element that make the ball bounce back to the hand of the player so that the player can make his dribble, right? So we have sometimes the floor can be made with the cement. Other people make the floor with the wood. Yes, the wood. The wood is a specialized type of wood, and other people can play on the ground. The thing is that on the naked ground, the naked ground doesn't make the ball bounce to the hand of the player very well, and it can use the ball. It can deteriorate the ball, right? And even the cement can deteriorate the ball. That's why the NBA and the NBA use a specialized wood to make the basketball sport playable. If not, it will not be playable, right? Playable. It's the same thing in trading. It is the same thing in trading. If you want to be a trader, if you want to actually succeed in trading, you need to have blockers, right? Where when the price goes down, it stops at this level, and then the price goes back to the upside. Goes back to the upside. And the thing with blockers is that many people said that the forex market is a 50-50 game, but it is not a 50-50 game. Yes, the price can move to the downside and to the upside, but in the forex market, blockers like this, right? make the forex market be a 100% game, right? Because the blocker blocks the direction to the downside and turn it into a 0% chance to go to the downside, but 100% chance to go to the upside. That is why blockers are actually the key solution of the whole forex market, forex trading game, right? So it's the same thing in the basketball. If the floor doesn't cancel the downward direction of the ball, if the floor doesn't cancel the downward direction of the ball at a certain point, then the basketball game is not playable at all. So that's why you need to find the blockers. In this document, we have three types of blockers. We have, first of all, the first blockers that are called we have, first of all, the first blocker that are called the TS2. What do I mean by TS2? The last time I told you that we have when you have I want to explain now the first blocker. You can have the monthly time frame here. You have weekly, daily time frame, H4, H1, M15, 15 minutes, and M5, right? If you look at the setup on the 4-hour time frame, you skip one time frame and then go directly to the 15 minutes to find your entry, right? So that method of skipping one time frame, skipping the H1 time frame, is called time frame skipping. Time frame skipping. The time frame skipping that are the short form is TS. TS2 because you actually skip 1, 2 is on the second time frame. It's on the second time frame that you take you go and find the entry. So the time frame skipping give you the blocker. Is the first way to find a blocker. Okay. So let me talk a little bit for 1 second about the time frame skipping. You need to understand that the time frame skipping, we have three types of time frame skipping. We have three types of time frame skipping. You have the TS1, the TS2, and the TS3. The TS1 is for the take profit. I will talk to you about it when we arrive on the execution a little bit here and holding the position a little bit here. The time frame, the TS2, the time frame skipping tool is more of the entry decision. The entry decision. And the TS3, like time frame skipping, you skip three time frames down to the downside, is more for the entry execution. Entry execution is for the entry execution. I will talk to you about it when we look at the entry execution a little bit more. But you need to understand that we have three types of time frame skipping. One of the most important is this one, because this one is the blocker, by the way. This one is the blocker. That's why I'm talking to you about this one now. So let us look at the TS2 now. Okay, the most important blocker type is between, okay, to find the blocker called TS2, you need 3 time frame like this. You need the weekly time frame, the daily time frame, and then the H4 time frame, right? So on the weekly time frame, you find a setup, and then you skip the daily, you go directly, you find a the entry. Okay, what is a setup? A setup is just any Ishimoku line touch. When Ishimoku has many line like 5 line like this, 4 line that can be touched by candle. When a candle come and touch the line, it is already a setup. Then you go on 4 hour. What do you find there inside the setup? An inclined tenkan, an inverted tenkan, right? Okay, we already know that because I explained that. So let us do it now. Let us do that now. Let us take this example. For example, we had this setup here. This red candle just touched on weekly. We are on the weekly time frame, right? This red candle just touched the tenkan here at this level, right? So you skip daily, you go directly on 4 hour. When you arrive on 4 hour, what do you find? What are you looking for inside this setup? Inside this rectangle of weekly, you are looking for a tenkan 4 hour that will be bending to the upside at this level, right? And you then start buying from this pot. This is where you buy from this pot. So what you have is basically a shape like this, a rectangle that signifies the higher time frame, the weekly time frame setup, touch of the Ishimoku line. And then you have something like this for the H4. So this one will be H4. And then you buy when the candle touch this inverted tenkan. Okay. So this method, right, shows you what why am I insisting on about this method, about this time frame skipping? This is time frame skipping by 2. What you will realize, you will realize is that as soon as in 4 hours, they can bend to the upside here. No matter what, no candle can, no future candle after the bending, like from this side, can go below this V, below this H4V, can go below. No candle can go below this the bottom wick of this V candle, of this V shape candle. No candle again can go below it. That represents then the floor of the basketball, right? It means that at this level, the time frame skipping by 2 method just block one direction. So the downside from the part where Tenkan inverted start inclining to himself to the upside, the downside direction has been turned to 0% chance to go down, 0% chance to go down, and only 100% chance to go to the upside. So that makes now the forex market a 0 to 100% game style. It's not a 50-50. It's 0 to 100%. So okay, now at the bottom here, that's why it is a blocker. That's why it's a blocker. I'm doing all of this to just explain to you why it is a blocker. You can start entering here, like you can start then entering on 4 hour here. Okay. Now, what I wanted to emphasize is also that the best way to find the best blocker is more of looking at it between it is best to look at it more on between the weekly time frame and the 4 hour time frame. Now there are also also other alternatives, optional. or other options that you can have, but it is really optional. Like you may decide to also do it between daily and 1 hour, or H4 and M15, or H1 and 15 minutes, right? But but the thing will be that the thing will be that the more you are in a higher time frame, better it is, because it will hold more a bigger weight. So I just placed this one just for alternative, where since you are a day trader, and sometimes you will not wait weeks and weeks to wait a setup. You can actually do it between daily and 1 hour, since you are a day trader. Let us look at the daily setup. Let us look at the daily setup. Let us take, for example, this setup. This Kijun setup is just right here. This daily, right? Now, for this case, what we are doing is that we have 3 time frame. We have the daily, the 4 hour, the 4 hour, and the 1 hour, right? So we look at the setup on daily. We then skip 4 hour. We come and look for the entry for on the inverted Tenkan. So now we go on 1 hour now. So what do we look at? We look at here on the 1 hour. We are looking at a Tenkan inverted inside, like this. Inside, this is where the Tenkan inverted just happened. Okay, what do you see here? Normally, no candle should go below the V in 1 hour here, right? Since you know why a little weight just went below. The floor is supposed to hold the market, to not for the market to never go below it. So, but there is a week here that went just a little bit below. You know the reason why, right? Because we have many time frame. We have many time frame. We have the weekly, the daily, the H4, the 1 hour, the M15. The thing is that as soon as you start looking at entry in 1 hour, you can have some more retracement below, a little bit below the floor. So at this level, what I can say is that the for 1 hour, the trade went down, kept going down for maybe, let us say, 10% down, but the certainty to go up was 90% up, right? That's why I recommended you to look at it. The best way to look at it is between weekly and 4 hour, because at this level the time frame are very big. The certainty is very high. The certainty is like 100%. It will not retrace below this floor. What I call floor here is the bottom of the V shape of the candle in 1 hour. Yes, you can enter here, but if you place your stop loss just at this level, you could have getting out of the market. But the certainty to go up was very super high. Okay. It doesn't always happen that because it is 1 hour, it will always, some candle will always go a little bit below the floor by 10%. No. This one is a specific case. In many cases, this one is 0 and 100%. In many cases, if you go on daily, you take another case. Let us say this one. Let us say this one. When you go on daily, you take this daily setup. What you are looking on 1 hour now is a Tenkan bending to the upside. Here is Tenkan bending to the upside, right? And then here is the bottom wick of the V shape. Here is the floor. You see, no candle came and tested. In this case, The downside movement is 0% chance to go down, and the upward movement is 100% chance to go up. So the case that I just showed you previously was just happening one in maybe on 100 attempts, it can happen like 2 or 3 or 4, just because we are in a lower time frame decision making. So you can also do it with between H4 and 15 minutes. But the idea of the time frame skipping by 2, the TS2, the idea of the TS2, right? The blocker called TS2 is that it shows you where the market will move to the upside by 100% chances. So let's not do the next one, those two one, because I explained to you the blocker origin. Blocker, that's for the entry, right? Time frame skipping by 2. Let us now look at the Vegeta Ishimoku cycle blocks, the highest blocks and the low blocks. First of all, I need to talk to you about the fact that this part 14, right? Trade the Vegeta Ishimoku like this is to not just have to make decision, to not just have to not just have decision to make, but to also make decisive action. The best decisive action will be made with the blockers. The best decisive action will be made with the blockers, and you need to understand that there's an hierarchy of blockers. The weekly blockers are the first. Like when you find a setup on weekly, as I showed you here, is the first thing to do. Don't start to look at 4-hour first. Look at weekly first, then go on daily, then on 4-hour to make decision. Don't do the reverse of this. Do weekly, look at weekly first, setup, then daily setup, then 4-hour. Don't do the contrary of it because weekly have more weight. So now let's look at the number 2, the blocker number 2. The blocker number 2 is about the fact that we have you remember about Ishimoku cycles. You remember about Ishimoku cycle. Ishimoku cycle has like here the reversal. The reversal here, sorry. Ishimoku cycle has here the origin, right? Then the reversal, then the transition, then the new trend, then what do I have? The correction, the correction, then here we have lastly the push trend, and then you have then your Vegeta Ishimoku cycle. That's how the market moves. But no, not but. Now inside each cycle, you have a specific point that is called the low of the step of the cycle. Here you have the bottom. When I say the low, is basically the bottom of the step, the cycle, and the top of the cycle. The bottom will be for the entry. The top will be for the TP. Each of these steps, you have the bottom and the top. The bottom and the top for the TP. the bottom and the top for the inside the transition. You have the bottom, the low, the bottom and the top. Yeah, for the TP, the bottom and the top. The bottom of the top for the cohesion, the bottom and the top for the cohesion, for the bottom and the top, the bottom and the top for the push train. So that's exactly how this thing works. This will give you the opportunity to know precisely point by point, pinpointing will help you pinpointing the entry and the TP. The Visual Isimoko cycle is so powerful that it gives you certainty at 100%. Let me show you then. First of all, let's just start with the origin. What I will call the bottom block and the top block. The bottom block and the top block. Okay, let's go and identify this one. I should have named this one bottom, Vg block, top and bottom. I prefer using the word top and bottoms. The top block and the bottom block, top block and the bottom block. So so let us go on Bitcoin. Let us go on the Bitcoin. Let us do this example. Let us do this one. Okay. So now what we got here is that we have at this level the origin, right? When you see, you have at this level the origin. This is the origin because we can have at this level a weekly time frame, setup. Yeah, we have a weekly time frame Kijun here. Okay, so let us do that. This is the origin of the move. So now what do you see here? What do you see here? The first entry for this uptrend, when you are in the origin, the first entry is here. The bottomest of the bottom here is here. That's the entry one, which is inside the emptiness, empty, the blank space on 4 hour. That's why I write here the bottom block is the empty. Then the second entry is in on this inverted tenkan. The entry number 2, it is on this inverted tenkan, right? This is here. And now when you have the entries like this, it means that you can place an entry, a buy position at this level. You can place the buy position at this level, and then you can place again another buy position at this level, right? Now the question will be, where will be the top of this origin? The top of this origin is at the Kijun level, when the candle touches Kijun. So when you are on this first entry, you directly drag up the take profit at the Kijun level like this, right? Even for the second entry. Okay. So that's how you have. So you have the top, the top for the top is for the TP, right? At Kijun. At Kijun. So that's what I'm talking about. The top block, the top point, the top block is the Lofi, the Kijun. The Kijun is the top, and then you also have the Lofi knees. When I talk about genou in French, knee. The Lofi knees. Okay, now I want to talk to you about another point. Let us take another example. Let us take this example, right? This is another origin. The origin starts from the empty space till the candle touch Kijun. So the first entry is here on the empty space, right? On the empty. The second entry is directly when Tenkan bended to the upside like this here. This is the second entry to the upside. So now, there is the top for the TP, number one, right? When Kijun, when the candle touch Kijun. But you also have what I call the Luffy leg here. Just the Luffy leg. I explained to you that in the previous video. You see, this is a Luffy leg. You see, you can have a leg like this, right? You can have the leg like this. This will be the feet. This part will be the feet, the foot. This is the foot or the feet. The foot, football, feet. And then at this point, you have what? The knee, right? The knee. And then at this level, we have what? The waist. This will be the waist. So on this leg, right? I can make the leg like this, right? This is also the leg. So on the feet, it is already the empty space where that is where you have the entry number one, right? And then on the middle, you see this green candle on this middle of red candles. You see that it is this one will be called the knee, right? So what I want to explain to you is that when you are on the origin, you can literally be looking at the Luffy leg like this and target this knee in terms of take profit. This is the take profit number 2, by the way. So you can then place an entry here, and then before Kijun got plotted on the future here, you can actually plan on the body of this knee. You can plan then to make a position like this, because by the time that Kijun got plotted here, you need to have a visual reference for your take profit. So that's it. Okay. Same thing for the entry number 2. You can plan to take profit at that level in advance before the candle touch Kijun. So that's the reason why I place the Luffy knees on the chart. So let us do one last example for the origin. You have here the origin, right? All of this from the empty space till the candle touches. From the empty space till the candle touches the Kijun. That's the origin. So you have, first of all, the entry number 1 here. The entry number 2 is Tenkan started bending to the upside at this level. This will be the entry number 2. And you have many entry numbers 2 also in the future on the inverted Tenkan, right? So the TP will be, the TP number 1 will be when the candle touch the top, the Kijun. That's the top of the block, the top point. But you can also look at this Luffy leg before Kijun arrive at that level in the future. Look at this Luffy leg. This is the Luffy leg, right? You see that this one will be the feet, and then this one with the knee. So you can, before everything happens, you can literally target the body of the knee like this. It will match in the future. It will match in the future with the Kijun Kijun position. When you go in the future, you go the Kijun tap, the Kijun touch, right? So that's it, right? So now let me tell you now how you can combine the blocker number 2 and the blocker number 1. Okay. What you basically have from now, right? What you basically have from now is something like this. Okay, let us take this example, this specific example. This one would be the origin, right? This one will be the entry number 1. And then the TP number 1 would be at this level for the take profit on Kijun. We didn't have a touch of Tenkan, inverted Tenkan on this whole top. So when you have the origin like this, when you have you are on the origin cycle, you need to go down on when you are on the entry on the empty space like this, you need to go down on. You need to now do the time frame skipping by 2 method to make an entry. Because now we have the on H4, you have the vegetation Moku cycle that you are looking for the origin, right? You are on the origin here. You will skip the H1 and go on M15 to find your entry, right? Then you do the time frame skipping by 2 method to find the entry. You will not enter on H4 like this because you don't have a reference, an inclined Tenkan to make you enter easily. So you go on an entry time frame on M15. I don't have enough candles. Okay. Let us do it on you. Let us do it on another example. Let us do it here for what is happening now. So you have here also the origin, right, till this level. And then you are here on the empty space, right? So what you do now, right, when you are at this level, you go on because now you have yeah, you can predict this take profit at this level on the body. It will be the TP1, the TP2. Now you do the time frame skipping by 2 method. On the entry on 4 hour, right? What you will do is on this empty space, you go on 15 minutes. As soon as the Tenkan bend to the upside like this will be the candle where you enter. And it happened twice. Even 3 times. You also have this Tenkan bending to the upside also here. And then you also have this Tenkan bending to the upside somewhere here. It happened like 3 times. Those entries, you had like 3 entries. But for the first entry, if you enter here and then you place your take profit at this level where you had the knees of Luffy from 4 hours, what would have happened is that for the first entry, if you let the position without placing a break even when the candle goes to the upside like this, you will have get out by the third touch, for the third entry. Basically, that's how you do it for the origin. That's how you combine the vegetation cycle and and the time frame skipping by 2. So what you realize is what? What you realize is that for the origin, right? That's the origin. What I just show you is that you have 2 entry at the bottom and 2 take profit at the top. That's how the cycle of the origin works. You have the entry 1 on the empty space, the entry number 2 on the inverted Tenkan, then you have the TP for the Kijun or the TP for the Lofini, right? Okay. So let us now look at the other ones. Now for the reversal. For the reversal. Okay. Let us keep taking this example. Now, you have this origin. Now, the reversal cycle starts from the Kijun and goes up till when the candles touch SSB. So now, inside the reversal cycle, you will see that the bottom point is the inverted Tenkan, almost the inverted Kijun too. This is the entry number 1, right? And the top block, the top point is the SSB for the TP. That's what I'm talking about here. The Tenkan inverted, the inverted Tenkan, right? And the SSB for the top block. Inverted Tenkan for the bottom block, and the bottom point, and the SSB for the top point. You also have another example. Where, for example, let us take this one. You had here the origin. All of this was the origin. And then from this Kijun touch till SSB is touched, you have the reversal cycle, the reversal. At this place, right, the bottom of this element was the inverted Kijun, right? And the top is always SSB. The top of the top is always SSB. But before it arrived at SSB, it also arrived at SSA first, right? SSA. That's what I'm writing inside the document. The 2 top point will be SSA and SSB, but the 2 bottom point will be Kijun inverted like this, Kijun inverted, Tenkan inverted, or Kijun inverted. Also SSR inverted. There are points where you have SSR inverted that happen at the same time with Kijun inverted. So let us look at let us try to find an example, maybe on gold. I want to find an example where SSA inverted also happen at the same time. It's not easy to find that. Like what I just mean is that this one is the origin, right? And this one will be till when a candle touch SS. This one will be the reversal. So now you have here the entry. This one is Kijun inverted, right? Kijun inverted for the bottom of the cycle of the reversal. The top is obviously you had SSA here, you had SSB here. Those are the top point, right? Those are the top point. So basically, what you have for the reversal, what you have for the reversal is that the bottom point, you have two type of bottom point for the entry. You have the inverted Tenkan, you have the inverted Kijun also, the two entry of the bottom. And then the two top point will you have the SSA and the SSB. That is your reversal for the cycle. You knew that for the origin. For the origin, you had here the empty for the empty space and the inverted Tenkan number two for the two type of entry. And then for the top point, you had here the Lefinis and the Kijun, right? That was for the origin. You see that when you have that type of shape in mind, directly all of your trade are simple to view, right? You have the position directly like this. You can literally know where the trade will go up to. You know the entry and the take profit in advance, and that is a huge edge because those bottom point and those top point are blockers. The candle cannot go below during the reversal, right? The candle cannot go below this point. So since it cannot go below this point in 4 hours, you just do the TS2 to go and take an entry between 4 hours and 50 minutes. And on the top, you have the top point where when you take the profit there, you actually take the profit at a good level, at the wiser level. Okay, so let us do the next one, the transition. So for the transition, let us go back on Bitcoin. Let's go on gold. I need to find a good transition. No, on Bitcoin. Let us go on Bitcoin. Can I find it? So let us do this example. We had here the origin from Yeah, the origin. Then you have at this level the reversal. And then the transition start from when SSB is touched here till where Kijun goes above SSB. So from SSB touch till when Kijun goes outside of SSB. So during this transition, what do you see? What is the bottom point? The bottom point is obviously the Kijun embedded in cloud. Kijun is already in cloud, and you have the Kijun inverted touch, and you also have the SSA inverted. That's why on the document, inside the document, I wrote what? I wrote Kijun inverted in cloud plus SSA inverted in cloud. The two has been touched at the same time by the red candle, right? That's the bottom point. We also have as bottom point the SSB inverted. Well, yeah. But in this example, this is not the example. I will show you another example to explain to you that. Now let us talk about the top. The top one here, right? It is on SSB, on SSB here. So you have basically the bottom of the transition and the top of the transition. You have the bottom point and the top of the top point of the transition, like this. Even this first SSB touch is the bottom point that you can sell the transition. You can start first of all selling the transition till from the top. You can sell the transition from the top till this bottom, then buy again from the bottom to its top, right? On SSB. That's why the transition is a little bit have more opportunity, give you more opportunity. So now let me take another example. Okay, let us take this example. This is one of the examples that I want to show you. So we had the origin, then we have at this level the reversal. Then we have at this level the transition from the SSB till when Kijun goes above SSB. So what do you see on this example? What is the bottom point of the candle? Don't just say, oh, Kijun inverted, SSA inverted. No, in this case, Kijun inverted has not been the bottom point. The bottom point here is Tenkan. When Tenkan is out of SSB above like this, you have the combination of Tenkan inverted and SSB of the Tenkan plus SSB inverted at this level. This is it. That's what I'm talking about here. On the empty, no, SSB inverted while Tenkan is out, right? SSB inverted while Tenkan is out. That's the bottom point here. This you have an SSB inverted touch here, while Tenkan is out of SSB, so above. This is the bottom point. Now, what is the top point? the top point will be on the empty inside the empty on the empty space, while Tenkan is out of SSB inverted, like above SSB inverted. So any empty point here will be the top. So you can literally be buying like this, right? So and so that's the next example. So that's the next example. Let me try to find another example like this, maybe on USDT point. Let's go on 1 hour. you see this on 1 hour, you can have, no, let me not do this example. Okay, let us do this one. You see, at this level, you add the origin just like this. And then you have the reversal like this here. And then from this level, you have the whole transition. This one is then the transition. On this transition, where is the bottom point? The bottom point is on this Tenkan. When Tenkan is above SSB, right? SSB inverted while Tenkan is out. That's the bottom point where you need to enter. That's your entry number one. Then you will see that the price will break this high, right? And create another Tenkan above. This is the entry number two. All of this happen inside the transition, right? Every Tenkan above at the bottom point, and then the top point will be just each time you break a high like this will be your TP. So for the transition, you have the bottom point of the transition, right? For the transition, see, for the transition, right? The bottom point is inverted Kijun. Another bottom point can be inverted SSA, inverted SSA in cloud. Both of them in cloud, right? In cloud, inside the cloud. And the bottom point can also be on Tenkan touch while Tenkan is out of SSB, right? But now the top point will be for this transition will be SSB or the empty space. The empty space when Tenkan is above SSB. So you have this element. So now let's look at the new trend. Let's look at the new trend. Let's do it on let's find one example. Let's take this example. So for the new trend, first of all, we know that we had here the origin, then the reversal that start from here to this point. The transition that will just come and end here. Now the new trend will be, we start when Kijun is out of SSB here till Tenkan bending down at this level. This one will be the new trend, right? Okay, for the new trend, the bottom block, the bottom point on this new trend, we have, first of all, on this case, you have the SSB inverted. This one was the entry number one. That's the bottom. Why is this the bottom? See, when Kijun went out of SSB, this candle touched SSB inverted. That's the lowest point of this whole transition, right? That's what I'm talking about here. KSB, SSB inverted on SSB inverted. So we had the KSB, Kijun going above SSB, and then SSB inverted here. So now, other bottom points are Tenkan MW, and Kijun MW. Let me talk about it a little bit. So when you see, when the candle, when the price start to move to the upside, you will see that the price is doing the highs and the low, the highs and the low. And then you will see this candle touch Tenkan at this level, right? And when you take this shape that I just drew, this shape looks like an M later, right? It looks a little bit like M later. So when I talk about Tenkan MW, is more of saying that the price is doing the highs like this, right? So now, so the bottom point will be any Tenkan touch at this level. Then the price goes up again and then come and touch Tenkan here, right? Then the price goes up again, then come and touch Tenkan at this level. Then the price goes up again, break this high. The price has been just breaking highs and highs and highs. Each time it come and touch Tenkan, it is a bottom point. Those are entry. Those are entry number twos. Those are entry number two. And then it come again and touch here, entry, right? Then it goes up again and touch. Okay. So in this example, we have the Tenkan MW as the bottom. Now, what are the top? The top are the empty space that can touch also a higher time frame setup. So let us look at this level. Did we have a higher time frame setup at this level? Let us look at daily. You will see that at daily, inside the daily, at this level, we had a Kijun setup, right? So when we go back on 4 hour, you will see that this empty space on 4 hour is not just an empty space, a random empty space. It's an empty space that has a daily Kijun setup. So that's the top two. That's the top. That's the top of the new trend. Then another top of the new trend is the Tenkan rebound after a long KSB. So you see that at this level, during the new trend, you had a long KSB like this. When Tenkan rebound at this level, then you have the TP number two, right? You had the second take profit. On this empty space, that was your first take profit when we touched the daily June. Okay, so let us take another example. Okay, let us take this example particularly. We have the origin, we have the reversal, we have the transition. Now, we got here a whole long new trend, right? This is a whole long new trend. The bottom of this new trend started with the inverted SSB entry here, entry number one, inverted SSB, right? The bottom point. KSB inverted SSB. That's it. Sometimes you can have some candle coming and touch even SSA here. That's why I wrote here SSA inverted. I don't know if I will have the opportunity to find this example. It happens sometimes, maybe on 1 hour. I'll look at it and tell you what have I done. So this is the entry. Another bottom entry can be Kijun MW. So let me show you the Kijun MW. So you see, the candle move to the upside and breaking highs, and then you see this Kijun. You have this high that has been broken, right? And then Kijun is touched here. This is now Kijun MW, right? Why MW is just because this pattern, this blue line is moving like an M later, right? And it touched Kijun here. And then the price keep moving to the upside, then come and touch SSA and move to the upside. Move to the upside, touch this is another bottom for on Tenkan, another bottom on Tenkan, then move everything, and then bottom on Kijun, move again to the upside, bottom on Kijun again, move again to the upside, bottom on Kijun, bottom on Kijun, bottom on Kijun, bottom on SSB. You see, the bottom point during this continuity, the lowest of the bottom point is the SSB inverted. That's where you place the entry, your first entry. All right. You place your first entry. Now, the next ones, when you want to enter more, will be on these Kijuns, on these Tenkans, on these Tenkans, on these other Kijuns also. You have all of your bottom point of entry throughout the whole movement to the upside. That's a little bit the idea of it. I just wanted to show you the Kijun MW2. So now the top of the top, take profit will be looking at a daily, a time frame, an above time frame, somewhere above now. Can be daily or weekly too. You see that you have an inverted Kijun here. You have two. You have something here, and then you have another one. Inverted SSA, inverted SSB. Do we have something on weekly? No, we don't have something particular. So yeah, and you know that if you want to enter here, you need to do the the TS2 method. So that's it. You have your top take profit there, because you could have then enter and have a take profit like this for this whole uptrend movement. That's precisely it. So for the whole new trend, right? You have your first entry, which is SSB inverted. SSB inverted. Other entry can be Tenkan inverted, Kijun inverted, right? Tenkan MW, Kijun MW. And then now your TP are the MT, the MT and what? Tenkan Ribbon and Tenkan Ribbon, right? Tenkan Ribbon after a long KSB. So that's for your nutrient. So you can have a TP here. The first TP, the second TP. knowing this give you certainty. That's how you have certainty in trading. Now the correction. Let us move to the correction now. Top block. The bottom block. Okay, let's look at an example where when we have a correction. Let's look at it on gold. Look, here we have the origin. Then we have here the reversal. Then you have at this lane the transition. And then let us take this one as just a new trend. So let us take this as a correction, right? Yeah, let us take this one as a correction. So inside this correction, what do we have? We have a okay. You have a daily Kijun inverted here. Okay, that's what I was looking for. Okay, so let me explain now the correction. For the correction now. Now, for the correction, what you need to know is that the bottom block of the correction will be Kijun or SSB, the bottom point. So here you have, for this specific case, you had Kijun here, right? For the entry number one. And then you have SSA, right? This was SSA. Not for the entry, for the take profit. First of all, let me even do it the right way. For the correction, since you sell the correction first, let us start with the top block. The top block, you sell the top block, the empty or a tap on a setup, on a higher time frame setup. We see that the correction started at this level, in this empty space of the candle. But on this empty space of the candle, we had this rectangle that is the Kijun inverted on daily. So this is your first entry for a sell. This is your first entry for a sell. So you can literally be selling like this. Your first take profit will be Kijun, right? Your first take profit will be Kijun. You can also sell the same element at the same point. The next take profit will be, in this case, it would have been SSA. But I didn't put SSA in the document just because the furthest that the correction can go is SSB. So I just put SSA and SSB. Let us take this other correction for you to get well. This one too is a correction. So your first entry is here. right? I should have even put the second entry like Tenkan inverted because this one is a Tenkan inverted. So let me try to change it here. I tried to change my French course too. So Tenkan inverted is also an entry number two. So you sell the correction from this point. I know that to sell, you do the TS2, the time frame skipping by two method. You sell, you can also sell at this level. Now, the bottom for the take profit will be, in this case, it has been the bottom of the bottom, it has been SSB, right? This is the take profit. You have Kijun and SSB, but you can start first of all, target Kijun. You target Kijun first, and then in 15 minutes, you will see if Kijun is passed through. And then the next target will be SSB. That's how you do it for the correction. So basically what you got, should I do another example before making a summary? Let us say this one, let us say this one is a correction, right? So the entry number one is inside this empty space. Then you have an inverted Tenkan at this level. This is the entry number two. Then your take profit will be Kijun first. This one will be your first take profit. Then the second take profit will be SS. SSB. That's it. Okay, cool. That's how you trade the correction. Even on this small correction, right? On this small correction here, you see that the entry is on the empty space. They take profit on this Kijun, right? That's a little bit it. That's a little bit it on this correction. So basically what we got is sorry. What we got is correction downward like this, right? You have like here correction, right? You have the entry number one, this is the empty space. The entry number two, which is the inverted Tenkan, and then the take profit are Kijun, and the second take profit is SSB. So when you sell, you already have your target. Okay. So let us look at the push trend. So let us look at the push trend. Let's go on Bitcoin. No, let's stay on USD point. So what we got was, this one was the origin, right? This one is the origin. Then we have here the reversal. Then you have here the transition. Then we got here the new trend. Then you have here the correction, right? Then you have what? Push trend. Then the correction number 2. Then you get what? Push trend number 2. Then correction number 3. Push trend number 3. Then correction number 4. Then push trend number 4. Then correction number 5. Then push trend number 5. All right. So you have the push trend that are in greens. So what I'm about to show you is the bottom blocks. You have bottom blocks on Tenkan inverted in cloud or SSB, right? For example, for this push trend specifically, you see this Tenkan inverted here. This one is the entry number 1 for this push trend. This SSB2 is the end of the correction and the start of the new push trend, is also the entry number 2, right? When I say number 1, number 2 is not in terms of positioning, it's in terms of style of entry, type of entry. Okay, so in this case, you have entry for this push trend on this inverted Tenkan, right? The entry number 1. That's the bottom point, right? For this case, you have the somewhere inside the cloud SSB. So you have then the type of bottom, right? Now for the next bottom type for the continuation of the push trend is Kijun, MW, and Tenkan MW. So you have more of Tenkan MW for this push trend here, right? We did it. The price is moving, touching Tenkan, moving up, touching Tenkan, moving up. Even for this one, the price is moving up, touching Tenkan, moving up, touching Tenkan. Those are the bottom. Those are the bottoms, right, of the new trend. Moving up, touching Tenkan, moving up, touching Tenkan. Those are the bottoms, right? We did it. Now, for the tops for the top block, you have the empty space on a higher time frame symbol or Tenkan remain after a long KSA. So now for the top for the take profit on this level, for this new push trend, as soon as they can bend down here, they can just bend it down at this level. This one was the take profit. This one is a take profit. They can bend down. It is the take profit. This is the take profit. So it means that when you take a push trend like this, your take profit will not be any empty space. It will be Tenkan bending down as take profit somewhere here. Tenkan bending down like this. Tenkan bend down here. As soon as Tenkan bend down, it is your take profit. All right. So now you also have another take profit, which will be the empty space. Inside the empty space, you need to go on daily, on weekly this time. You have to have some Ishimoku candle touching touching a line of Ishimoku above on the top, on the higher time frame. We have none of that. So Tenkan bending will be your take profit. So that's it for the blocks. That's it for the Vegeta Ishimoku cycle blocks, top and bottoms. So now the next one will be so now before going to the next one, let me make a resume. You have the origin like this, which is O. You have the two entry at the bottom, you have two take profit at the top. The candles cannot go below this entry bottom. That's why it is a blocker. You have now the origin, right? The reversal, sorry. The reversal, you have the two entries at the bottom, the two take profit at the top. The candles cannot go below the entries during the reversal. You know exactly where the bottom and the top are. You have now the transition, the two bottom of the transition, and the two top SSB and empty space. The candle cannot go below the entry. That's why it is a blocker. You have now the correction, the what? You have now the new trend, right? The new trend. You have the two entries, SSB inverted, Tenkan inverted, the new trend. And then the empty space on Einstein frame stage top of Tenkan Robin for the take profit. For the entry, the candle cannot go below this point. That's why it is a blocker. Right? Now for the correction, you have the empty space and the Tenkan inverted. And then you have the SSB here and the Kijuna SSB for take profit here below. The candle cannot go above your entry for the sell of the correction. Impossible, right? During this cycle. And then lastly, we have the push trend. The two entry and then the two take profit. No candle can go below the entry. That's why it is a blocker. So you have then the final form of a blocker like this. And to enter, you do the 10 frame skipping by 2 entry method. Those are the blockers. You know it, right? This is then the Vegeta Ishimoku cycle. Now let us look at setup. You have the reversal blocks. Let us look at blocker that are called setup. Reversal, you have reversal blockers. You have the first of all the reversal blockers. And then you have the continuity blockers that are the continuity blockers that you already know. Let us start with the continuity blockers. First of all, the continuity blockers are just the fact that, you know, every Ishimoku line, each time that a candle touch Ishimoku line, the price moves to the upside. You see, at this point, the price moves to the upside with it. Any Ishimoku line is a reversal line, right? So it is a continuity line. But there are only two reversal. What I mean is that, right? Any setup on daily, weekly, on monthly, weekly, daily is a setup for continuity. What I call setup is a setup is just the fact that a candle has touched an Ishimoku line on 4 hour or daily. Each time the candle touch an Ishimoku line, the price moves to the other direction, to the direction to continue. For example, Kijun is touched, the price move down. SSB is touched, the price move down. Tenkan is touched, the price move up. So that's the setup. That's normally the continuity. So now I want to emphasize on one thing: how to be a day trader and a scalper. So the best, you know that to be a day trader, right? You have H4, H1, and M15, right? When you look at the setup on 4 hour, right? You go on M15 to enter. You do a time frame skipping by 2 to have an entry, right? That's you are doing day trading. So it means that what you basically do is, if you had a setup, for example, here on 4 hour, right? You go and take a position on 15 minutes, right? Why is it day trading? 4 hour, the 4 hour time frame. What I try to explain to you is that the 4 hour time frame, when you find setup on 4 hour time frame, you are doing day trading because by the time that you take your take profit at this level, 12 hour has passed. 12 hour has passed from this entry setup till this take profit, right? 12 hour has passed. So you can actually have a time frame like this because one day has set of 6 hours, 6 hour 4 time, right? One day of what 24 hours has 6 hours. So if one position take you 12 hour already, is a day trading, right? You are trading within the day and you are taking half day to find your take profit. Now, if you that's when you find a setup on H4, when your setup start from 4 hour, that's day trading. When you have H4 setups, that is day trading. Now, when you have 1 hour setup, right? Let us take this one, this example. This is a 1 hour setup. You have a setup here, and the take profit was up to this point, to the top side. You will see that this trade took roughly, let us say 6 hours, right? 6 hours for your take profit to be validated. So you had literally H1, M15, and M5, right? So when you have a setup here, you go on M5, M5 in 5 minutes, doing the time frame skipping by 2 methods. You find a Tenkan inverted Tenkan here to buy this one at this level. And then 6 hours later, you have a take profit, right? 6 hours later, you have a take profit. This what you just did is that is somewhat something like an 6 hours, 6 hours. A day has set of 6 hours like this, right? It's somewhat an intraday scalping. It's like a scalping an intraday because an intraday can go to hours. Scalping is generally within minutes, right? But sometimes we can mix the two, intraday and scalping, within 6 hours. You need to find you can have your entry till your take profit within 6 hours. That's why I try to explain that each time you have a setup on 1 hour, you are doing something like scalping. 6 hours to make money is actually fast. So now let us talk about the last block. Let us talk about the last block. Now you have the reversal blockers. The first reversal blocker is what I talk when I say reversal blocker, what do I mean? I mean that if the candle are moving to the upside like this, how do you know when the price will reverse? Will it be here, will reverse down, or will it keep going to the upside, reverse down here, or will it keep going again, reverse down here? How do you know which one of these points will be the reversal blocker? At which point the price will stop moving to the upside? Will it be the first point? Will it be the second point, or will it be the third point? You need to know it with certainty 100%. And there is two ways to look at it. The Tenkan hitting the resistance to the left. Let us do it on the first method for the reversal. Let us do it on the weekly time frame. I told you that we have an hierarchy of blockers. Weekly first is the best highest point. On this weekly time frame, look at this. Watch this way. The Tenkan hitting left, right? At this level, right, where Tenkan is inside, you see this if you see this big red candle is because, right, Tenkan got inside this resistance, this V. You see this V. This V had the wicks of it. I'm only taking the wicks. Tenkan is inside the zone of the wick. So when Tenkan arrived here, you saw a doji candle, and then the next one was a. When Tenkan got inside here, it was already a reversal. So Tenkan will stop more. So this push of the price has stopped at this level because Tenkan got inside the VRS. Tenkan hit the left VRS, right? That's it. You can basically do it on any. You can also do it on daily. Let me do it on daily. Let me do this one, for example. You see this resistance, right? When Tenkan got inside here, inside this zone of weak of the resistance, the VRS, I call this VRS. Tenkan got inside here. You see this candle. Here is the thing. Here is the candle that got in. The next candle appeared but didn't move to the upside that much. So from as soon as it can get inside the VRS like this, start planning the reversal of this. The reversal is about to happen. Start planning it. So like you go on 1 hour, you will see Tenkan got in around here. So let the price keep moving, But at a certain point, when you do the TS2, time frame skipping by 2 meter to enter, you'll go and enter at this level to sell for on H1. So the reversal is the blocker. It is a blocker. Why? Why is it a blocker? Why is it a blocker? Why is that Tenkan hitting VRS is a blocker? It blocks the price to keep moving to the upside. Look, on USD you had this. Well, you had this right. When we literally had you had this. When Tenkan was moving up, as soon as Tenkan enter inside this zone, it stopped itself. There is a break, you see. This was the candle that got in. This candle did not move further up. It moved back. So at this level, there is no way. The blocker works like this Tenkan hitting VRS work like 0% chance to go up again. 0% chance to go up again. But 100% chances to go to the downside. That's why it is a blocker for the reversal. One thing can get inside the zone of resistance. The next, let me look at it also on BTC. It also happened on Bitcoin. I like to take the bottom week on this whole V, the bottom of the week like this. So you see that one thing can start entering inside this resistance zone, right? This resistance zone. This green candle is made, but from this red candle, the whole market went down. It says that, brothers, take your profit from the halving and sell. So it's a blocker, 0% of it, 0% chance of it to move up again from this level. Only 100% chance of it to move to the downside. Okay. So that's it. And then Tenkan Ribbon is then the next blocker. Tenkan Ribbon is then the next blocker. Why? Look, Tenkan Ribbon is the next blocker because I'm doing all of the example only with the buy side. There are some people who have difficult ability to switch from the buy to the sell, but we do some exercise together when you guys join. So Tenkan Reben is a blocker. Why? Look, on this whole trend, right? When Tenkan starts bending to the downside here on 4 hour, what does that signify? That signify what? There is no chance again that any candle goes above here, right? Tenkan was moving to the upside, doing higher plateau, then it started bending here. So 0% chance for you to go up. Only 100% chance for you to go down on this level. Same thing here, right? Tenkan rebend, Tenkan bending down, Tenkan rebend, bending down, like this. 0% change unless we touch Kijun. When we touch Kijun and then this one happen again, it's only, that's how you know the blockers. So that's blockers or reversals must be known. So I think I'm done. I'm done. Let me tell you something. Blockers like do everything. The rest is just the obvious. The orientation and the execution is obvious. But the blocker, brother, sister, mommy, dad, maybe you are my dad, maybe you are even my mom. I'm telling you, this is where the money is made. This is where the money is made here on the blocker. On the blocker. Why? Why every people on trading must find blockers? You have maybe an account, right? Let us say that you have in your bank account, you have like $10,000, right? $10,000. You are risking in a financial market on this screen. In financial market, you are risking $1,000, right? Your dollars must not be your risk must not be looking at like 50-50. I can lose, I can win. No, never. It must look like I put the money. There is 0% chance that here is my money, my 1K, my $1,000. There is 0% chances that my $1,000 disappear. But there is only 100% chance that my $1,000 increase in value. That's how you treat trading like a business, not like a gamble. 50-50 is a gamble. What do you mean 50-50? Even life is not 50-50. If you take life like 50-50, you like, let us say relationship. You always work with doubt, uncertainty, fears. That's why people, when they come in trading, they come with all of this baggage, all of these wounds, and they feel like even their money is 50-50. No. With Digital Ishimoku cycle, we have blockers where you can look life like I give all my best because I have boundaries. The boundaries are my blockers. Even in life, in the relationship with people, you need to have boundaries. Your brothers, your father, your friends. People need their space. People need to not be insulted, to not be treated in a certain way. There are people who love to be insulted, but their boundaries: don't steal my money, don't lie to me. Like, it's not like I can lie, I cannot lie, I cannot. Or tell the truth to your people, right? You need to block a certain part of life, because if you don't block a side, your trading will be always gambling, and this block is 0 and 100%. There's no such thing as 10% and 90%, like we did at one example. Normally, in that example, we should have made the stop loss a bit larger to keep it 0%, 100%. To keep it 0%, 1%. It's always 0%, 1%. Because even in business, you cannot be saying that you are selling shoes in your business. and then a client call you. How much is the shoe? The shoes is, let us say, $50, right? And then when you go to the house of the client to deliver, you go there with a 50%, 50-50. You can pay or you cannot pay. That's how you know you do business. Instead, for this shoe that costs $50, you ask payment in advance before you go even and deliver and delivery. So it means that you take first of all your 100% and you give 0% chance of him not buying. That's how you treat trading like a business. And only brokers give you this ability. Only brokers give you this ability. Brokers is the most important thing. Like I emphasize that. Like there are people who only trade with brokers because all of the rest here will be mnemotechnic like memorization. When I will talk to you about the rest on the left here, it will just be memorization, mnemotechnic. Like you need to memorize execution and entry. Your analysis, your decision making will always be in brokers. The biggest work that you will do will be the brokers work. This one will be just obvious. Execution is obvious, but where you will need a certainty is on brokers. Execution is obvious. So let's talk about it.